I say the same for you.
Whatever.
Yeah, I can't say the same for you.
Oh, we are? When
Oh
will
my
we go
God.
live?
Tell them,
You have to
that's how they
stretch my arms
disrespect
like
me in
this.
this studio.
Mercy.
You're alive.
You're alive. When I finish leaking all the secrets, you know, I say you're alive. Hello, everyone.
They did not give me headphones.
Messi, you didn't give take a headphones.
It doesn't like it's not headphones.
Oh.
Adventure begins. The Locker Room on Smooth 98.1 is brought to you by 9 Mobile. 9 Mobile. Here for you. Here for Niger.
Here for Niger.
Okay. Alrighty, Lagos, you're welcome back. And of course, it's time for Locker Room 981. If you just joined us, you're just in time to get a piece of all the juicy stories that Tega will be sharing with you this morning. By the way, my name is Kayode Baker.
I'm Ayomira Essay. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in.
Good morning, Lagos. And I must put a disclaimer. I did not produce today. If the story is not sweet,
You want it? Wow.
so that they will not call me.
you're
Who
not
do we
on.
hold responsible for this?
Bolaji.
All right, guys. So the voice you just heard, since you didn't wait for an introduction, is the one, the only Tega Supreme, aka
Drum roll, drum roll.
Tega Tiger, aka Tega Nigeria, aka Tega LIS,
Tega
aka
Africa.
Tega Africa, aka Tega
Tega
World.
Worldwide.
Just keep going, keep going, keep going.
By the
Lagos.
way,
You know what to do, right? Just jump in and reach out to us on social media. That is, we're at Smooth 981 FM. Use the hashtag Grapevine981. Also, WhatsApp, also, we take your messages there at 0809444091. And finally, you can reach out to us on YouTube as well. We're streaming live at the moment, or at youtube.com/Smooth981FM.
Tega actually showed her face. That's
For the first time. This is progress.
Yes, progress. Yeah, we're making progress.
Let's talk about Nigeria. And in my opinion, I think we're facing probably the toughest team in the tournament. That's the AFCON 2019. Now, Nigeria and Algeria will battle for a place in the final for the 2019 African Cup of Nations when they meet at the Cairo International Stadium on Sunday, 14th of July. Now, Algeria appearing in their first semi-final since 2010 and are looking to return to the final for the first time since their only AFCON triumph in 1990. Nigeria's last Nations Cup semi-final and final appearance was in South Africa in 2013 when they won the tournament.
Yes, so tricky one. But the good news about this is that Algeria has faced the West African opponent in Cote d'Ivoire, and they didn't find it easy to beat Cote d'Ivoire, so or Ivory Coast, depending on which name do you want to call it, Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. You know what I'm talking about. But and they found it really tough to beat them. It took the penalty shootout, and even Algeria missed one penalty.
Yeah.
Well, Nigeria.
Sorry,
I'm not sure about Nigeria's penalty.
I was going to say, let me just digress a little. We're actually one of the few teams that didn't go to the semi-final.
Penalty.
Yeah, because we know how to do the work in the time when we should do the work. Don't leave it to lotteries. And then you now start crying halfway through the penalty, like Bonija last night. That penalty has shot out, has not finished. He has already started crying. So you don't need to put yourself under that kind of pressure. Do the job in 90 minutes. And so, I mean, Cote d'Ivoire showed Nigeria how to play against Algeria, and against the Ivorians, you saw the slight weaknesses in Algeria. So I think Nigeria is in good hands. It's going to be tough because those guys can cut apart defenses. And I don't think Nigeria has the best of goalkeepers in Daniel Akpeyi. A lot of people say, oh, but Tega, he hasn't really conceded goals. Like, look, the day that I'm telling you, the day that he wants to concede, he can pack in 5. So let's not do that. Let's not even. But I mean, the Algerians know how to cut through defenses. They're amazing like that. However, because of the way Nigeria also plays, and the X factors they have in the likes of Chukwueze, and on those occasions where Igalo outmuscles his opponents, he can get in goals. So it's not a total write-off for Nigeria. It's going to be a tricky tie. Okay. It's definitely going to be tough because the Algerians also play tricky.
If you say tie, it means we will enter penalties or go into penalties.
It's a tricky tie now. I can't say it to the robo. There's no robo one for tie. So I don't know how else to say it. But I mean, and the Algerians can play dirty. If you just walk past them, they'll fall down like they've been shot. All those things can get the referee on their side, get decisions on their side. So you never know. I mean, I think about it. An Algerian took a player's hand and hit his face and fell down and said they gave him an elbow. I've not seen that kind of acting before, even in Hollywood. But hey, the Algerians can do that. So they play dirty sometimes, and so the Nigerians shouldn't fall for that. And they should just concentrate on trying to do their job, and hopefully Nigeria will make it.
I've already seen us with the couple. Who was it that said it? Was the commentator for the last match who said that we are just 4 games, two games away from.
You have seen the cup already.
Yeah, but it's already,
was the cup in our hand, or were we?
Don't try that.
I'm asking. What I to
Aso
do?
Rock.
Okay, it wasn't.
Aso Rock.
Okay.
They're presenting it to President Mahmoud Buhari.
Okay.
All right, let's go on. If you're with me, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so let's move on to tennis. Another one that I know who I want to win. So Simona Halep feels mentally stronger for Serena Williams' final. Obviously not Simona Halep, but Simona Halep says she feels mentally stronger for the big challenge of facing Serena Williams in the Wimbledon final tomorrow. I'll believe that I have my chance to win against her. Of course, I respect her a lot what she's done and what she's doing. But now I feel stronger mentally facing her. We'll see what is going to happen. It's just a big challenge for me, said Halep.
Yes, it is a big challenge. And Serena I've seen all shades of Serena. The smooth sailing Serena and the fighting beast mode Serena. And it's like Serena is ready to dish it out this year.
Yeah.
She's come back. She's feeling better. The fact that she played in that doubles was just showed that her knee is no longer a bother, because that was what has been troubling her all year. But as soon as she played her first match and saw that her knee was good, that was when she said, Andy Murray, okay, we can do this doubles thing because my knee can take the beating. And so since she's fully fit physically, what was left was the mental toughness. And that match against Alison Risk was one thing that, I mean, Alison Risk was the closest person so far that has come to beating Serena at Wimbledon this year. And the fact that Serena could overcome that, I didn't even see yesterday as a matchup. Yesterday against Barbara Striskova, I didn't see it as a matchup at all. It was always looking like Serena from the start to finish. So she's shown us the different variations of her. She's shown that she's ready. But this is another final after her coming back from maternity. And the last 2 finals she went to, she completely capitulated in those. So maybe this is third time lucky. maybe it's third time. She's playing against somebody who has also struggled psychologically, because Simona Halep is one person that will go to a final and just choke. So it is something that, I mean, both of them are struggling with, and so I think that puts them on equal ground. And then if it comes to the weapons they have in their arsenal, maybe Serena has a slight advantage with her shot making and her shot selection, but Simona Halep has very good advantage with her court coverage. That girl covers everything, and she can run in zigzags. It's amazing how she runs and she's not dizzy. So she's going to chase down every shot that you put at her, and she never tires. So it's set up for a fantastic final. I still think, if you ask me, I will tip towards Serena. But don't put your money on it.
Please, and put your money on me, please, Serena Williams.
So now, I would tip towards Serena.
Let's hope that Serena. Well, I hope that Serena wins.
I don't want to say let's hope that Serena make wins. History. She wins this one. With 23rd Grand Slam.
She's already had 23. Okay, so she's going to equal Margaret Court's 24. But you have to understand that Margaret Court's 24. Some of them were amateur titles. But again, they will continue shifting the goalposts, because if you ask me, Serena has already beaten the record. But because but 24 is 24, so whether it was amateur in the back in the day, they will still count it as 24. So let her just beat it so that everybody will be all right.
Simona, have you heard? Let my sister win it.
We have a couple of messages, and we also have
all right, okay, so Zizi Classic says, wow, it feels good watching Nigeria beat South Africa on their TV station, on their TV platform. But let's go on to more comments.
Iman says, Iman of Makoka says, beginning of the AFCON, I didn't trust the Super Eagles. Now I will need to blood pressure before watching. Okay, before watching, I cannot come and kill myself because of football. All
Don't
right.
kill yourself. Chimobi Victor says, if the Super Eagles of Nigeria play the way they played against South Africa and Cameroon, they will surely defeat this Algeria team. While for Madagascar and Benin Republic, they really shocked most of the pundits by getting to the quarterfinal.
Yes, they did.
Oh yeah, I was gonna sing it. They have to move it out of Cairo. All right.
This one says, I just love the way you guys introduced Tega. It makes my head swell.
Aw.
On Wednesday, Tega was sitting on the fence calling it a 50-50 chance. I hope she's back to being a Nigerian now. The Super Eagles played unexpectedly well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, wasn't it a 50-50 chance? When did you score your winning goal? You will be bragging now
Was it
because
not
he
a winning
managed.
goal, but it was a good goal?
He was close.
We won. Then good morning, Tega. What has Akpeyi done to you for being hard on him? From my perspective, you're not being fair on Akpeyi. Up till date, he has proved himself. Why not encourage him? OBJ is always so kind to the OBJ. He's always so kind. He's always when Tega goes against any of our Nigerian players, you come against Tega. Tega, you be nice to
I don't
them.
even understand
Be
what
kind
you're
to
talking
them.
about. Maybe they are
OBJ,
watching
well
a
done.
different Akpeyi. They see, how do your people say it? Ojaboko fall. I don't know. I'm trying to say something. It fell down, but it
It's
didn't
still
break.
bouncing.
Jaboko for.
Yeah, that thing I just said, that's how they say it. And that's what Akpeyi is. Just because he hasn't considered
Yeah, but
as many goals.
Akpeyi is more experienced right now than the other alternative.
But you can see how shaky. I didn't say he was. I said he's not the most convincing goalkeeper.
Okay.
I'm talking of the whole tournament. Haven't you seen better goalkeepers at this tournament? Let's
No,
Let's call
the
it.
only players and goalkeepers I see are Nigerian. I
Okay.
don't know about the others. Thank you.
Maybe we should try Ozoho.
no. Next, might as well put me in
Let's
goal.
move on to let's go on a quick break. When we get back, we'll do some more talking. Don't forget, this is the Locker Room on Smooth 98.1. Please stay close.
Don't forget to say brought to you by 9 Mobile.
Oh,
because-
I wasn't sure, sir.
Because up until 9:30, once after 9:30 it's out. But so when we come
Okay.
back, let's mention because I think they have 2 mentions.
Because what it is
Thank you.
I was trying to say say it.
Ojaboko for man advancing. Ojaboko for man advancing.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot. I'll
I
give
don't know
you
what that
accolades
means.
when you-
Ojaboko
What's your
for.
surname?
Man advancing.
What's that mean?
Is it right as the term of saying that you will bounce, you will break and bounce?
No. You fall but not
And
break.
your surname
This
is
one I heard it in Yoruba Fimo.
Bolale. I've never
It said
heard it before.
Ojaboko for.
Bolale, son. Are you his brother?
Eh?
Man
He's
advancing.
the only one. I thought Bolale was
I didn't hear the
first
Oman
name.
about.
So then that's not it.
Let's not shoot them.
I heard this one was in Yoruba movie that it fell out of her hands but it didn't break.
Ojaboko for now.
Uh-huh.
I like the last.
And so I tried. Now why are you making me look like I was bad?
The most stupid thing you
I'm
do for
good.
us. Don't even say
Wait.
My
What
Yoruba.
was that when you
Wait,
put
let's
it
not
on?
do this so.
I don't know. I've given you 3 options. Pick one.
I've tried with my Yoruba.
No.
Ayo.
Operator. Smooth operator. Why he wanted to throw me under the bus. I was singing, then he turned on my mic, but I got him. Anyways, welcome back. It's Locker Room 981 here with Ayoma Rese.
And Kayode Baker.
And of course, the one, the only Tega Supreme. Let's go on to our next story.
Yes, next story. Next story is talking about Rafael Nadal and also Roger Federer. By the way, don't forget, Locker Room is brought to you by 9 Mobile. And yeah, we just had to tell you this story because it's quite interesting. I've been seeing a lot of stories on Instagram talking about this rivalry. Now, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal renew their exalted rivalry on Friday when they meet at Wimbledon for the first time since the epic 2008 final. Now, Federer, a quote here says, Rafa has improved so much over the years. On this surface, he's also playing very differently. I'm excited to play him again. Nadal says, playing against Roger is always a unique situation. I'm excited to be back on center court against him after 11 years. It means a lot for me and probably for him too. And he further says, I'm playing with a very high intensity, playing aggressive, serving well and returning very well. I know that I have to play at my very best.
When haven't you ever been aggressive and played with high intensity?
I know.
Rafa Nadal, you need to stop telling us what you already know. But what it is Roger Federer is so right. The 2 times Rafa Nadal has won at Wimbledon, he's been in fantastic form, and that's what he has to do to win the Grand Slams at Wimbledon. And this year he's in no different from it. Like it's amazing the way he completely obliterates even opponents that you would think that yes, he should ideally beat. The way he approaches the match, like he's playing the best tennis
When
player in
he's
the world.
training, the way,
That's-
the way he's even training, it looks like he's playing the
oh
real
yeah,
match.
even when he's training. So
Much intensity.
I heard that by 5 minutes into his training, he was already dripping sweat. That's just training. That's the one. The match hasn't even started. Training, and so he's going to come with that. And usually, for me, that's what gives him an edge. I've seen Roger play this tournament, and Roger, as usual, is amazing. But Roger has created. I mean, he has so many openings. So you see him creating so many breakpoints, but he doesn't take all of them. So he'd have like 7 breakpoints and have taken only 1. With Rafa Nadal, you see his breakpoints percentage is 70. Roger's one is at 33, just hanging out there. So Roger is not ruthless as Nadal or Djokovic is, which is why I still think in the ranking of who would win, regardless of the number, the 8 titles he's already won here, I think
Nadal.
he's still third after Djokovic and Nadal to win this. So and that's where it is. If you ask me, because it's grass, I'd say it's a toss-up. But the intensity with which Nadal approaches his games and his ruthlessness just gives him that slight edge. Yes, over Roger Federer. And yes, I know it's grass and not clay. So I'm still saying this. So let's see how it turns out today. I think Roger Federer is up for the fight. He's preparing, considering the last time that they played on clay, Nadal decimated him there. He'd want to revenge. So that's what to make it interesting. If you ask me, his intensity is just not, his fight
Doesn't
is,
match Nadal.
yeah, it doesn't match Nadal's at this stage. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm hopeful. So my 2, obviously, Serena Williams and Federer. Let's see how they do. Lewis Hamilton. Now, who was that person who said we didn't used to talk about F1 here, Formula 1 on Locker Room? I hope you're listening to us now. So Lewis Hamilton relishing battles against F1's new rising stars. Lewis Hamilton says he's relishing the growing threats being posed by Formula 1's next generation amid strong form from Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris. I love the challenge of trying to keep these young ones behind me. I'm excited for the youngsters coming through, seeing what they bring and seeing if I can compete with them.
I'm telling you. So he's always up for a fight. And yesterday they put him in the same press conference with, I think, George Russell. Oh, that George Russell is the most articulate young sportsman I've ever heard. Think about. I've ever heard, and I've listened to a lot of sports people talk, but that guy, he's smooth. Again, moving on
Where's he from?
He's British. So no, well,
I'm just saying.
and Lewis Hamilton is British. Why is he not? Why exactly Beckham too, Lampard, all of that? Let's not even go there. But he was on the same panel sitting with Lando Norris. I can't remember the last person on the other end, and then Daniel Ricciardo, and both of them, Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton, were feeling very old and aged with themselves. But sitting on that panel and seeing what these young guys have been able to fight for and how he was when he started out, I mean, there was a question that came in and they were comparing him with Max Verstappen, and I think it was Christian Horner that had said that if you put Max Verstappen in a Mercedes, that Max Verstappen would take out Lewis Hamilton on any day. Lewis Hamilton was like, I don't compare myself with anybody. I know who I am. It was the way he gave the answer. I don't wake up in the morning and compare myself with anybody because I know what I can do and I know who I am. Max is a good driver and that's him, but this is me. And I take exception to the fact that people say these kind of things about Lewis Hamilton. There are other people that have driven this Mercedes car and we know how hard. Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton had to be beaten by the garage several times before Nico Rosberg could win one. Bottas is driving in the same car and there's still a struggle. So when you wake up and disrespect somebody that is a 4-time champion, Christian Horner should never have brought that up, should never have said that, because Lewis Hamilton is not only winning here, he's won also with McLaren.
Yeah.
So
and it's McLaren.
yeah, no, okay. Well, McLaren then wasn't this McLaren that is very bad, but again, you understand what I mean. It wasn't the Ferraris, it was McLaren.
Yeah.
So the way you approach a champion with some respect, I
Some
totally
respect
agree.
on
That Max Verstappen is bold and strong and he knows how to go after races and overtake. But what he doesn't know is how to manage races. And sometimes when you want to win a championship, you know that you have to manage some some races, and that's where he feels. So if you pitch him up against that, it's very disrespectful. But this weekend is the British Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is racing at home. Let's see how it turns out for all the above parties.
All right, let's talk about Tunisia and Madagascar. Now, I was hoping that Nigeria would face Madagascar again so we can teach them a proper lesson.
Story.
But
No, me, I wasn't looking to which lesson.
oh, they thought...
Let's
Moving
face it,
forward.
I'm telling you, when we move forward.
Okay, so Tunisia have reached the Africa Cup of Nations semi-final since 2004 as they ended Madagascar's fairy tale run. Now, the Eagles of Carthage, who will face Senegal in Sunday's last four tie, led through Ferjani Sassi's deflected shot from the edge of the box. Now, Youssef Miskani then doubled their lead after Wabi Kaziri's shot was parried by Melvin Adrian. And, I mean, it goes on and on, really.
Yeah, so first of all, I like to say this is a contest for Africa. We are all Africans, but every continent has a ruler, so it's West Africa now against North Africa. Who is going to win? That's what it is, because Tunisia goes on to face Senegal.
Yeah.
Ooh, that will be interesting to see. But Tunisia is one of those teams that have grown into the tournament. They were not so fantastic in their first game, and you weren't so sure even after the group stage. But they have managed. With the way Morocco crashed out and Egypt crashed out shockingly to the opponents, especially to the opponents that they crashed out to.
Benin.
It was strange for North African teams, and then Algeria did the job that they came to do, and Tunisia also when Madagascar fell, they fell apart. You know how they say when it rains, it pours. That's what happens. As soon as Madagascar considered that first goal, then they considered the second goal. It was just over from there. So Tunisia have played very well to this extent. But if you ask me, their game management is great, but Senegal's talent for me, is better. What puts them on level ground is that Senegal still has a little bit of naivety. I say this when it comes to competitions. So they just think that because of our talent and because of our hard work, we are going to win. Sometimes you roar, sometimes you're quiet. It's not you can't shout every time. So I think they need to learn that so that they can manage, especially when you're playing against North Africans with all their trickery. North Africans, they don't only play football, they act film. So you have to watch it. But let's see how it turns. But it just sets up for an interesting semi-finals, Tunisia versus Senegal.
Senegal. All right, let's look at some comments. Tega, if you jump, can you touch the bar? Says Ayo. Ayo, why are you asking Tega if she can jump?
It's about this way.
Oh, Akwe. Oh, right. Okay.
And that's why I'm not a goalkeeper. That's why I'm doing my own job well. He should do his job well. Everybody.
This one says, this is Shay. Congrats to Super Eagles, but Raw's tactics and change on Musa was spot on against South Africa. Now, South Africa has given Ghana visa, leaving Nigeria because, wow, we beat them. Tega, Biko, what kind of VAR is AFCON? Is the VAR screen showing cartoons that we and the referee can't see it? Algeria is in trouble. We'll beat them.
Yes, that's the spirit, Shay. Thank you,
my dear.
much.
Thank God you mentioned this VAR thing, because African VAR is different. It must be calabash and white calabash with water, because I don't understand how that Algeria penalty was a penalty. I don't understand.
How about the Nigeria goal though? That was also a VAR.
Which Nigerian goal?
The South Africa goal.
Oh, it was a clean onside goal because it came off Igalo's back. Yeah, that was clean onside.
So Femi's of the opinion that I noticed Egyptians celebrated Nigerians win over South Africa more than Nigerians. Some people said that because your enemy's enemy. I can't remember how they say it. My enemy. You understand?
The enemy of
enemy.
No.
The enemy of your enemy is my enemy.
The enemy of your no.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes.
Something like that.
All right. Wale Kufeji.
This one says, you guys are doing great. Why is Anthony Joshua just visiting Nigeria now? I swear I saw someone like him inside the bush coming back from Abeokuta yesterday. Really? Come on, Wale. Come on.
All right, so Olufemi on YouTube is saying, go Roger. So there are many who are rooting for Roger Federer. Irrespective of what Nadal is playing on the court, we still root for him. All right, let's go a few more comments.
Imano from Papa says, finish work in 90 minutes. That's the very key. We can't afford to gamble with the penalty. Algerians are coy. We can't afford to be too physical. The game would be lost or won on technicality.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, Nathan Njoku says, Tega, we know Sabi play penalties, oh. So we better win the game in 90 minutes or 120 minutes. No penalties, or beg. We need to score first, so the Algerians won't have time to play act. If not, with the way Ndidi and Etobo play, if the Algerians score first, Yawa go deal.
Yes, I totally agree with him. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go on a break. We have some more comments and one story to go, and then we will be wrapping up the locker room 981. Mercy has confused me because I read all the messages already. I said Mercy is confusing me. She has opened all the messages already. So no, I've seen a few that you've opened. So I'm trying to look for the ones.
So
that
don't open any messages.
Not yet. She's trying to save from numbers. So I understand, but please just wait till we finish so that we can you see because we have some in between.
Get double data on your data purchase. Really? You also get 300% extra.
So your next story is Coach Chelney.
That's more than
Okay,
just
bueno.
Your next story is Coach Chelney.
Coach Chelney. No, just have name. It just be simple. Do not be forming. Why are they wasting alphabet in Nigerian in English?
Because it's not an English
Where's
name.
it?
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah,
Coach
because I
He's
use my
French.
thing.
Coach
Yeah.
Chelney, okay.
So my own long
I'm
liners are
not
longer.
familiar.
See the liners now.
Laurent
You see this one with 10 seconds, 20
Laurent.
seconds.
Laurent.
So to be looking for it
Coach
is trouble.
Chelney.
This is 27,
Let's just go. I was
47.
going to say, so, Arsenal captain. Laurent Cochon.
Laurent, just say Laurent.
Laurent Cochon. No, I'm Udu
Even the English
Cochon.
self can't call it.
They will call it.
They
It's not
say
their.
Koscielny.
Yes, now because that's what it is. What's that?
It's Koscielny, isn't it?
You sure?
They can't call it self. They struggle.
Even the French, that's how they call it. They just don't pronounce the L. That's the difference. The only thing they know is Laurent.
Laurent. Because of Yves Saint Laurent.
It's like when they say Patrick. I'm like, his name is Patrick. Yeah.
Which one is it? Davido. Davido.
David.
David. Okay.
David.
David. Okay.
Mhm.
Everybody has their own.
Yeah, so they don't say David. What is David? David. So you're just there thinking David. What a cute name. David.
We send you messages on Instagram. Hi. I'm like,
I don't even want to attend to them.
No, because guess what? 95%
Don't
of
have
those
anything
are
to say.
rubbish. Yes.
They have
Rubbish.
anything to
Just
say.
say.
So
Full
I'm like,
sentence.
okay, maybe you want to give it. Me, it's only work that makes me answer people like that.
Yeah,
In
okay,
case
so
it's work.
I've suffered with this LRS. So I want to be a part of this program. I want my company to be a part of this program. What is my response supposed to be? Hi, good morning. Yeah, it's the same data, Abi. Good morning. My name is this of this company. We do
Doesn't know
this. How can we be part of this program? Then I will know what to do.
Exactly.
I want my company part of it. Who are you? What is your company? What do you do?
I think the problem is
They don't know what to say.
it's a social media thing. As long as you are on a social media platform and you're reaching out to the person on social media, there's just that informal behavior that falls on you.
But
Because
for
if
me,
the person had to send you a mail, they would have constructed it
I'm
well.
telling you,
because there's just
constructed
something
well.
about email.
That's why people say send me an email.
I'll look at somebody, you send me hi.
hi.
And now
what's that?
respond to is that you are asking me for a favor. I'm like, are you even okay? So and it's not small girl. Oh. I'm like, you don't even have any respect. Number one, in terms of courtesy, I'm not even saying respect me
Yeah.
as an entire. Like, you can't even say good, hello, how you doing? You just hi.
I don't even ask. I don't even
I'm
look.
like,
I don't see
hi.
those. I don't
Please,
officially. I don't see those messages.
I want to do. Can you? I want to be up here. I want to mental. Like, oh, and I'm high. You want to? Oh, TSC. I'm not even a serious.
Block.
You're just
I'm
a Yoruba
telling you.
gay. What did you say just now? Oh, yes.
No, serious. Like,
Okay.
Another thing is people forget that they don't know you don't know them. Because
Yes.
exactly you on social media,
Yes,
you like
they
your
feel
post, they
like,
comment, they already feel
yeah.
like they know you.
And
But
you
you
still
forget
say
Moses
hi.
Spirit said
That-
if you chat with him and you use maybe you want to write what and you write WAT like this,
That's it.
you press
That's it.
insult you. Didn't you go to school?
you
I don't
can't
even
tell
have-
yourself.
It's
Some people just don't
annoying.
respond.
Okay, guys, we're back. We have 30 seconds.
That's right. This is Smooth 98.1. If you just joined us, where have you been? This is Local Room 981 with Ayomara SA and Kayode Baker. And of course, Tega Supreme is right here with us in the studio.
Right here. All right, so let's go on to our final story. Laurent Koscielny refuses to travel with Arsenal. What's going on with him, Tega?
Okay, so we are hearing that he has refused to travel to the US with Arsenal, and I don't know if he's pushing for a move. I'm suspecting that's what it is, but Unai Emery had him in the plans. I don't know if he's pushing for a move or he just wants more playing time. But what it is that he's rebelling,
Yes,
and
and they're saying they're going to handle him.
and they're going to discover what the problem really is, and so they'll know how to help. But what he needs to know is that he's getting older, the club is moving younger. I mean, think about it. If they could sack Arsene Wenger, who are you? I mean, in the scheme,
out.
thank you. In the scheme of things, if they're looking for a long-lasting Frenchman,
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger, and even us now,
Yeah.
one and
They
the
had a
same.
very good
Yeah.
relationship.
So who are you?
And big
was
shit,
always
you
there.
know?
So let's see how it pans out. But what it is that players are now that players want to push for move, they'll not come for training. They'll say they're emotionally disturbed, like Antoine Griezmann. I've not heard that one before. That was a good excuse. So they refuse to train. They refuse to come for pre-tours with the club, just trying to force a move. Because I think it's personally, I think it's bad behavior. But ultimately, the players have more power these days. It's
Isn't there a
just shocking.
loyalty bonus that they give players?
Loyalty what? If the money that they are going to pay me on the other side, I can use and pay the loyalty bonus and still have change, what's the loyalty bonus then? Loyalty should come from the heart, otherwise it's of no consequence.
Tell it to the people.
Okay, some jobs should give loyalty bonuses, chap. I'm just saying. This one from Tony says, I'm happy that the Ivorians have exposed some weaknesses in the Algerian team. All right, we're happy about that too.
Shola from Sulu says that Nigerian goalkeeper is the most awful I've seen. So stiff. He cannot be body at all. Really? Yeah. All right, just a few more comments before we call it a morning here on Locker Room 981.
This one here from Kosi Cole says, IO Sports talk is increasing.
Thank you. That I have my
Nice.
fingers in the air. If in
Nice.
case you're watching on
Nice.
YouTube, thank you. Thanks to Tega. I have to give when I'm receiving my award. I have to say I would like to thank my parents, God, and of course Tega. Let's go on. Biggie from K2 says Nigeria is a formidable force. They are the Avengers of this AFCON. Our coach is a master player. Hashtag he must win. Hashtag we must win. Ayo, are you with me? Of course I'm with you, Biggie.
Say no to penalty shootout.
Yeah, so that's our prayer.
Wow, EMC has quite the message here. This AFCON tie with Algeria is a basic walkover, but let's not take things for granted because Arabs are very crafty manipulators. Anyhow, I see a Nigeria-Senegal final. Serena Williams is very consistent. Wow, I'm not going to say that. I wish her the very best of luck.
He said, OBJ from Lekki says the SA goal is faulty. SA guy was off before the ball bounced off a Nigerian player.
Ha!
All right.
OBJ.
All right. Okay, thanks so much. Take I say you're on point with Proverbs this morning. But yes, give us a proverb to sign out this morning.
Please don't put me under pressure. That's not how it works.
Koko Tonjefo.
Eh?
Finish it. That's the easiest one. That's quite an easy one.
I don't even speak Yoruba. You're saying I should finish it.
Follower. So the problem that is doing Nigerian football is
Is in the
Nigerian
roots
football.
of the problem.
All right, thank you so much for listening, guys.
Lagos Talks 981 comes, and after this, and it's really going to be very interesting. We've got something
Yes.
special to share with you. But
Yeah.
special thanks to Tega. You can find her up on social media to take the conversation as the show as the day progresses.
This
Yes.
weekend is a good time to follow her. For
Good.
all Wimbledon is happening. We have the AFCON happening.
And then we have F1 happening,
F1,
and you know
yes.
how that goes. And also, if you haven't registered, women, please come out.
Come out.
Register for the Ladies in Sports Conference.
26th of July, and it's at LIS International. Follow them, you find the link, and it's free of charge.
It's
so
free.
you're not paying anything.
By the way, she's at Tega Supreme on Twitter.
Mhm.
And we'll be back after the short breather. Stay close to your radio.
Okay,
All right.
so now we can go now. Okay, so I was supposed to talk to
Talk to her. We have not read that Hawat thing. I have not
Oh
gotten to
my
Lagos
God.
Talks 911 now.
Where is
I was
it?
supposed to mention